Boom, 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 boom. Where to go? Got one like so far. There's Brufo Trish. Hey there, buddy. Just trying to find some music here. Oh, is there multiple lives happening right now? Howdy, Janet. Oh, nice, Chris. Oh, man, my screen is so dusty. Wow. Okay. Go ahead and mute that. Pause the video, and then we're going to go here to our chat and bring up the entire chat screen. There we go. Oh, gold painting channels? Nice. All right. So, well, howdy there, Ryan. There was a guy, I forgot the screen name, but he was asking for us to polish the random rock. Well, until he shows up, then we're going to work on some fire obsidian. Because I did have River pick out a few random rocks out of the garden. Not the rock garden, just basic, like, granite, like, rocks. But we are going to work on some fire obsidian. Oh, nice, Ryan. Get my apron on. Should play some rocks tonight, but I think tonight I might play my Minecraft after River goes to bed. All right. Oh, I got some rocks in my pocket too. Howdy there, Tammy. I think Rocky Mountain Bear would like these. He was asking about them, so I'll save them for him. Okay. All right, so what we are working on tonight, we're going to go ahead and zoom in just really quick to find our sweet spot. It's going to be right, zoom out, and we zoom back in. There we go. So we're going to be working on this. I already did a lot of sanding on this, so we don't have a lot of too loud of sounds. But we have some fire. Hi there, Marion. See a little flash there. Where's my spray bottle? There it is. So we're going to go ahead and work on this right here. And we have a couple of layers there on top. There's a layer down below. And we have a layer right there. It's kind of hard to see because once it's polished, it'll look better. But this should turn out nice, I think. Yeah, that should turn out nice. But if the other person that was in yesterday asking about to polish a random rock, if they pop in, we'll grab a random rock. We'll start sanding it. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and start working on this one. Yeah, Chris, I saw the end of the video. That actually turned out really nice. I meant to leave a comment, and then naturally I just got distracted and I didn't leave a comment. But I meant to. So I did see it. It did turn out nice. I'm going to put this right here for right now. Actually, I'm going to keep this one plugged in. That. Keep the phone charged. All right. So here we go. Turn this on. We're going to go ahead and just use the 280 grit. And we should have enough pressure in the air compressor. We do. Oh, got to take off my ring because we do not want to damage it. Okay, now I'm ready. going to be working in this direction. The 280 grit. Ooh, that water's cold. That water is cold. Like I said, I already did a lot of the work. Now it's just a matter of going through the 280, 600, 1200 and polish. I figured I would work on it. I worked on some of this last night and then have it ready for today. And then I might end up selling this piece when I get done with it. I just don't know for how much yet. Everyone's been having a really good Tuesday so far. Spent my morning at the bank, getting the van in my name. Well, it didn't be in the bank's name, but my name. Well, hello there. Is it pronounced smell? Smell? Feel free to correct me. Angola, nice. How's the weather over there? It's cloudy and cold over here. It sounds familiar, and I have to look at a map, but I feel like I've seen on a map, but I've never actually been there. And howdy there, Ethan. Does that hurt the stone or damage it? And what kind of grinder is that? So this does not hurt the stone. It's a soft resin wheel that's 280 grit. And I've already spent some time last night going over the other lower grit stages to sand this. But it does not harm the stone. If anything, we're actually sanding it. So we're just getting all the super deep scratches out so we can get a nice polish on there. Well, hi there, Patrick. Patrick. And this is it's a cabbing machine. This cabbing machine was made in Springfield, Oregon. But these wheels are Diamond Pacific Nova wheels. They are resin and diamond bonded wheels. They're kind of some of the best on the market, but they're also kind of expensive. But they're really good for what they do. Oh, you have diamond? Nice. No worries. Sometimes I have a hard time speaking English myself. I have a hard time just talking in general. Don't always enunciate my words. So Ethan, I'm trying to get this piece of fire obsidian polished up. I'm going to be polishing both sides. So it's fire obsidian. It's from Oregon. Oh, hi there, Summer. Also, hi, Janet. Can't remember. I don't know if you said hi. Oh, I did. Cole, do you have the 140 grit wheel by chance? I know most machines, they have 2 diamond wheels and 4 of the resin wheels. Oh, so you got the presets. Okay, hold on. So if you got the preset wheels, You here. Let's see if I'm trying to think, because I have a Cab King in the rock room right now. So the preset wheels. I have not personally used a Cab King yet. I have one. I haven't used it because I want to test and compare between the preset Cab King wheels and these wheels. These ones are not from Cab King. These are the Diamond Pacific Nova wheels. Here, let's see if we can. I'm worried that if I go into the rock room, we might lose good service. I know with. See, now I can't recall off the top of my head because okay, we're gonna risk it. Come on, we're taking a trip to the rock room. If you haven't liked the video, please consider doing so. It's free. If you lose quality, let me know. Hopefully we shouldn't. We're going too far away from the router because I can't remember what it looked like. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, it looks like. Oh, it doesn't even say on there. Does it? Nope. It does not say with the grit wheels on there. So yeah, typically you have two diamond wheels. You have a really low course one, high grit, and then 280. And then it goes 600, 1200, and 3000, I'm assuming. Yeah, so cool. I would recommend, if you're able to, get the kind of in-between stage between the higher grit diamond wheel and the 280. Get 140 grit resin bonded wheel, and now we can use that wheel in between the diamond stage and the 280. But yeah, over time of using the wheels, it will take a little while to sand things down. But again, I'd recommend getting 140 grit and then use this to get all the previous scratches out from the hard diamond wheels, and you'll see a huge difference, because then this will help make this wheel last much longer. And I don't know if Cab King makes 140 grit. You might have to double check, because one thing I would like to do is I want to use the Cab King I have, and then when those wheels wear down, if I don't think I like them, I'm gonna replace them with Nova wheels. And Ethan, good question. So it's just kind of based on experience of kind of working a stone long enough. So really what I'm looking for, and I dry the stone as I'm working, so I can kind of look for any like huge deep scratches. Once I feel like the deep scratches are gone on each stage, then you go on and on and on. But the biggest thing I'm looking for is deep scratches and like any kind of scuff marks that shouldn't be there. And it's just a matter of kind of knowing what to look for. So I guess just kind of like years of kind of like knowing what to look for. And sometimes this wheel tends to put more scratches in there, so it's just a matter of kind of looking. It almost looks like the 140 grit actually did a pretty good job on sanding it. Because sometimes you can have a diamond that is in the resin that pokes out farther from the rest of them, and makes the process take a little bit longer than it should. So yeah, it's just a matter of checking your work often. You really notice no different from like buffing a car, using higher and higher grits on the paint, but it's a rock, it's not paint. what direction I was with this one. I think I was that way. Well, hi there, Nelson. So this wheel does not get hot. I do have a machine that is a bigger sander, and if you are sanding on a rock too hard, the water can warm up a little bit, like just from the friction, but the wheel doesn't get hot, and the water helps keep everything cool. But the water also helps keep down the dust. Especially with these machines here, you have to always use water no matter what. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to use water. Otherwise, you will burn through these wheels, and these wheels are really, really expensive. Coal, it depends on what it is. I do collect sometimes, but I don't collect a whole bunch of material because I don't have, one, a lot of space for it. And for two, most places I've gone out to, it's typically BLM land, and you cannot sell what you collect no matter what. There's no gray areas there. And the last time I went out to Glass Butte, collected obsidian, I gave it away. I just went out there for the content, and that was it. And then, but yeah, I don't collect a lot of material myself. I mean, if you see the pile I have of rock, you'll understand why. I have a lot of rocks. It depends, there, Ethan. Like this one, I bought this one from someone else as a rough rock. I'm gonna polish this, and I'm most likely going to sell this one. Well, hi there, Capagetton, Cassandra, and Echo. And hi there, James. Hi there, Derek. Yeah, depending on what the rock is, will depend if I sell it or if I keep it. I've done a lot of obsidian pieces where I end up keeping them, like for a lot of freeforms. Oh, nice coal. Hi there, Han. So, for anyone that's new here, what I'm doing is I'm sanding a piece of obsidian. I am always working in the same direction at all times, so if I'm standing in this direction, I don't flip the stone this way and go that direction. It's going to cause a lot of issues. So I'm always making sure to know which way I'm working. So it's going to be this way, or it's going to be this way. It's not going to go in any other direction. If I do, if I work in two different directions, what will happen? I'm going to zoom in here for this. If I say if I work in this direction here, and then I flip the stone, and I work in this direction here, or if I flip the stone and I work in this direction, and I work in multiple different directions, what's going to happen is when I go to polish, and if I didn't sand this right, this will show up as hash marks, basically, and then you'll have to go back. You'll have to resand. It won't look good. So whenever you're sanding a stone, you always have to work in the same direction the best you can. If you're grinding the stone, like as to shape it, it doesn't matter. But when you're starting getting to 140 grit, 280, you want to make sure to make that correction and work in the same direction at all times. What is the blue foam thing next to you? And wondering. Oh, no worries. So it's not foam. This is actually the cabbing machine that we're using here. So it's aluminum. So that's actually the cab tray. I have rags here to help protect the stone if it falls. And for two, my hands are super white, and if I'm using just the cab tray, my hand will whitewash the camera or whatever it's called, and doesn't look as nice. So I have to have a background to kind of help out with the filming. So, oh, it's on the machine. There's no blue foam on the machine. Are we talking about maybe this maybe? There's no foam stuff on here. I mean, I have a spray, an air compressor. Now, Cole, you always want to work in the same direction. Now, there are people that have asked me like if that was really necessary, and they have said they have never had issues with that. But I've seen it happen, and it's also how I was taught. So, look next to the wheel that you're working on. It's away from the yellow wheel. The only thing that's really there is the rubber mat, or my impromptu splash guard. That's the only thing I can think that's there. Oh, that'd be cool, Cole. Lid in the water. Summer, I need to go through and see what the prices were for the small ones we did, and then for this one, I don't know how much it's on this one for yet. There's nothing else here on the machine. It's like an egg piece. I have no idea. Yeah, there's nothing else in the machine here. So on my other machines, I do actually have a pool noodle. Actually, I'm more on the lip. I got a friend of mine. She has a CAD machine similar to this one, but unfortunately, I was gonna buy it, and I told her to go ahead and sell it anyway because I just don't have the space for it right now. Felt bad because I was gonna get it, and it's don't have space for it right now. It's similar to this machine. The only thing is that the lip of her machine, I think, comes up to right about here. Mine sits back quite a bit. There is no foam thing on this one. There is the splash guard on this side. There's the rubber mat, which is down here, and then there's that in front of me. But there's no foam thing on this machine. It actually might be okay to go to 600. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. The hand holding the rock point up the blue thing. Are you talking about this? That's part of the machine. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's the part of the machine. Oh yeah, no, that's not foam. I will say that I don't like this being here. I just kind of feel like that kind of sticks out too much. But it does kind of get in the way sometimes if I have like a really big piece. I could probably cut it. Can I cut it? Hi there, Seppi Games. I am working on a piece of fire obsidian, so you see the color up there. And if you flip it around, we also have another layer right there that is called fire obsidian. And there's Soul. Hi there, Soul. Also, hi, Opal Guy. I don't remember if I said hi to you or not. So yeah, working on some fire obsidian. I worked on it a little bit off the camera last night because there's a very loud stage of this, and it's using the diamond wheel, and I did not want to subject everyone to the diamond wheel grinding, so I went ahead and did some of the pre-sanding before today. Save your ears. Soften the edges a little bit. Thank you, Opal Guy. Yeah, I just don't remember sometimes. Why does the rock have like a gray color on it? Those are all different layers. So, turn this off really quick. So, normally, most obsidian's black. There are different varieties of obsidian. This particular variety, it just has a lot of layers. So if you see there, I should turn off this light. We'll turn on this light over here. Doesn't help too much, does it? But you see all those layers. So what you probably see is probably the different layers in the piece. Otherwise, it'd be mostly black. So yeah, so the fire obsidian is caused by a nanocrystallized magnetite. That's what gives fire obsidian's color. And so, like this top layer here, you can see is it looks almost like a crunchy foil. Sometimes it can have like a foil effect. Every layer can be different. You can have like the foil effect, and all of a sudden you have like a nice little color pocket right there. And then down below, there's actually another. Well, you'll see it better once it gets polished. And like this side here, this side would actually look much better if the layer was coming up in the opposite direction. So, hang on with my pencil. I'm always misplacing the pencil. There it is. Okay, so if this layer, you see how it's coming in at a dome. Ideally, if you're using this material to make jewelry, you do not want that because it makes it really hard because you have a pretty much a pocket here where the obsidian is thicker than the edge of it, and so you lose a lot of the color. Now, if this layer was going in the opposite direction, so if it was going more like a dome like that, then you can kind of work with the material and work with it and make it much more brighter than what it already is. Well, hi there, Matthew. We're doing pretty good. We're just working on some obsidian again. Can't help myself. Love the stuff. Pain in the butt to polish, but it looks pretty. So yeah, Oregon is very well known for its diverse varieties. You can have gold sheen and fire. You can have rainbow and fire. It's like that scene from Forrest Gump. All the different flavors and varieties of obsidian, how you can work it. Was it hard starting like this thing, like selling the rocks, and be able to talk and work with customers? Ethan, that's actually a really good question. At first, it was a little like awkward to do the live sales, but after a while, it was, as far as the talking and like getting used to the camera. After a while, it got easier. And it really helps that the community here that we have on YouTube in the rock pounding and lapidary world, everyone's like really chill and really understanding. And I'm actually really proud of everyone that we have in our little community. Everyone's awesome. Summer. Well, it's funny, Summer, because I do most of my talking like on camera. In person, I'm actually not as. I don't think I'm as talkative. I'm usually pretty quiet. Oh, hi there, Reptile D. Also, hi, Randall. Reptile Z, I'll have to double check because I haven't really looked at the open box shelf in a hot minute. I do not remember. It should still be there, I think. So yeah, when it comes to Fire Obsidian, this stuff can be really, really expensive. For like the really good quality material. There's really only a few pieces that I have that would like qualify for the $100 a gram, like finished price. This stuff's hard to get. And when it comes to like polishing it, then you almost need to have like practice pieces before you even touch the stuff. Janet. Yeah, it's been a minute. We got 355 people on my screen here. If you'd be so kind to just double tap the screen, give me a like. It's free if you like pretty stuff, like rocks. If I have to show something prettier on the screen to maybe get you all to like the video, I'll do that right now. Check this out. Oh, everyone dipped out. Dude, look at that, pretty rock. There you go. No, Reptile Z, not for rough. So, for finished tabs and slabs, it can go for anywhere between $25 to $100 a gram for finished stuff, not for rough. I've seen some pretty absurd prices as far as stuff that isn't even considered good quality online. So it's a matter of like looking at a piece, seeing what the carat weight is, see what the color and quality is, and kind of go from there, see if it's even really worth purchasing. Oh, hi there, Miguel. Well, Miguel, here, I can give you some advice. Here, just really quick. So Miguel, there is actually some bits called they're called Nova Points. Same brand that makes these wheels. You can get them on various lapidary sites, but they're called Nova Points. It's pretty much the same concept of what we're doing now, just smaller. And that's what they look like. And I think there might be like one other variety. But these are what you want to really get a good shine on stones with the Dremel. So we have 600 grit, we have 1200, that's 3000, and that one's 280. And then of course you just use the diamond bits. You can get it like Harbor Freight on Amazon. Use it to grind and shape the stone, and then those to get close to a good finish. And then if you want to go a step above, then you can either make or fabricate some kind of like carpet wheel, and then use this with cerium oxide for most stones. Not all stones, most stones. If you're working more like turquoise, then you might have to use something like where did it go? I have a bar of it in here. Zam. So you'd use Zam with it's like those felt pads. Yeah, you just use ZAM with like the different varieties of like felt pads you can get for the Dremels. So yeah, ZAM's good for soft stones, but like cerium oxide is good for like obsidian and agate and stuff like that. Yeah, fire obsidian is still number one. Sorry, I'm looking in the chat here. Whenever you're doing the smooth sanding discs with the water, it makes your hands look shiny. Nice red garnet with almost no inclusions. Nice. Making shoes? No, I'm actually working on this piece of obsidian. I don't even like wearing shoes. I wear sandals if I'm wearing anything on my feet. I do not like wearing socks. I do not like wearing shoes, especially in the last few years. You are most welcome, Miguel. And same thing with as far as these wheels for those Nova points. Use water. What you can do is here. I'll show you what I do here. It's not hooked up right now, but what I use for water, there's probably ways you can set things up too. I have a water pump. It just feeds these little tubes, and typically I have one tube that is kind of turned on, so that it doesn't put too much pressure on the pump. And it's like a drip, just kind of relieves some pressure. And then I have another tube here where it drips onto my work surface, so that way you can keep the points and not only just the points, but also the diamond bits cool, so you can make them last longer. LC Fur asks if I'm autistic in my room right now. All right. Maybe. I don't know. You tell me. Oh, Ethan, so the sandblaster, that is more meant for fossils. Some people use that for like getting rid of rust off metals. I use it for fossils. It's a new tool for me. Let's see here. Mofo asks, do you make obsidian mirrors, black mirrors? I do not make obsidian mirrors because that requires a super flat surface, and I do not like polishing flat surfaces. Oh, hi there, Jenny. Let's see here. I don't know if it's a perfect ask question in the middle of this, but having a hard time identifying your son. Jenny, I can do my best to help out. What do you got? Hi there, John. Would you believe me if I told you I'm not even looking at the stone? I'm actually looking at chat. I'm just working off steel here. See if Firebeard is so thin. Wouldn't it be really difficult to work with a Nova point? So Summer, you could use the Nova points on the obsidian. I feel like Nova points for this, I almost feel like it'd be better for like carving. I mean, you could use it for like face polish, but it would just take a while. Yes, cow desires to breathe. Jenny, you can always send me an email with a picture of the rock in question. Send it to worldofrockhounds@gmail.com. Again, that is worldofrockhounds@gmail.com. I had to polish rocks with the stones you showed earlier, the blue ones, so I had a bunch of this moment. So I will say, Ethan, that some rocks are a little more difficult to polish than others. For example, I do not like polishing quartz. Polishing quartz is a pain in the butt. I'd much rather polish obsidian all day. Rose quartz is also on that list too. I do not like polishing rose quartz. So yeah, we're actually ready for the 600 grit stage now. So let's go ahead and dry this off again so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at. So that's kind of the surface that I'm looking at before I go on to the 600 stage. You can tell that I have been sanding in one singular direction. At some point I will polish this side as well. Normally I don't, but I think for this piece I'm actually going for a complete polished, like both inside. Like this can technically be a palm stone, like it's like a little pocket rock. Though I'd be very careful because obsidian is glass. Glass can scratch. Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of fun just to have like a free form piece. So yeah, once it gets polished, let me grab an example up here. It's a little dusty. So once it gets polished, we will have, like this is a polished piece right here. The green stone in the dioptase. Yeah, let me show that again. So yeah, this is the dioptase. This is I call this my my business card holder because it's got a nice little pocket to put nice little business cards in there. That is dioptase. It's a pretty neat piece. I got another cool piece up here too. Like this one. This one I'm not selling either. This one's just cool as heck. I'm not selling that one either. I do have one that I need to get priced though over on the shelf. But that is dioptase. So this one, I've actually never polished dioptase, but I feel like this material might be fairly soft. Even with my hands, it almost feels kind of sticky with this. Yeah, this is clay. I can feel that. That feels like clay. That's right there on the surface because my hands want to stick to it. I wouldn't mind actually like experimenting, not tonight, with seeing if this like the face would take a polish, because that'd be like really cool just to polish a couple faces right there and then like leave this little cave alone. And Miguel says I go prospecting for gold and have lots of black sands, so I made a black sand garden. Oh, nice! No, that actually would look really cool. I think the black, like the obsidian and the black sand, would actually complement each other really well. Bring a grab, zoom out really quick. Aziz, light. Thank you, Aziz. Like this. I'll zoom in right here. Or zoom out, and we gotta zoom in. Here's like a sweet spot we gotta find. That's also dioptase too. Big old chunk. Camera looks weird. But yeah. I got other pieces of dioptase as well, but sorry, my finger hurts. I'm having carpal issues, and so like this is painful right now. Just a little bit. Yeah. So Miguel, so like see this right here? I actually used the Nova points on the inside of this. I didn't do a full polish. I just kind of want to do like a soft polish on it. This is granite. I will say that the 280 grit did wear down a little bit. But I made this, so I left this rough and I polished the inside there. And it's got a quartz crystal slice, so it's not been sanded or polished there on the quartz end. That's a natural quartz face for the most part. And this is actually supposed to sit over here. I'll show you why I did it. So that way, it's a nice little nightlight. That's why I made that. That was kind of cool. Little art. This was like an ancient bolt, a little bit. But yeah, there's some cool stuff in the collection here. Like I had polished all that obsidian up there, those giant pieces, that piece there, that one, and those two back there. Those are my initial, very first obsidian polishes that I've ever done. Words. And then I also made the YouTube play button here. That is a fire obsidian and dinosaur bone as the base plate. There we go. I'm very proud of that one. I'm also proud of my little gnome back there too. I also did the gnome. That little guy right there. I made him too. The pink ones and the big green ones. Big green ones. Well, the pink ones, those are cobalt and calcites. And the green one, if you're meaning those, so that one, the one in front, that is a silky malachite, and the one there in the back, that is Druzy. Oh gosh, I can't think. Chrysoprase? No. Chrysocolla. Yeah, it's Druzy Chrysocolla, and that is from the Congo. Yeah, got malachite, Chrysocolla, got labithonite. Got a lot of ball malachite. Got more dioptase over here. I'm not short on that stuff yet. The bottom left, the big pointy one. Give me this one right here. Is that the one you're talking about? Because that is a dragon scale calcite from the Sweetwater Mine in Missouri. It's got actually a chalcopyrite phantom on the inside of it. And then I have another one too. But that one's not for sale. That one's mine. I'll put it over here. So yeah, that one's a dragon scale calcite, and then we have cobalt calcite. I have a fascination with the dogtooth calcites lately. Something about how pointy they are, pretty cool. Well, hi there, Lee is good, and thank you, and howdy, Melissa. And then, like even this, that is a Balmont calcite from New York. And I thought it was cool because the little points are pretty neat. Yeah, I got some cool stuff in here. All right, we gotta get back to work. Stay quasi-focused. So those ones I did not polish or clean. Those crystals I just showed, those ones are all natural. Ooh, nice, Miguel. Oh, you know, Miguel, now would be the good time to do it because Taylor Swift, I mean, if you plan on making any content with it, Taylor Swift's supposed to be having a song come out called Opalite. And I only know this because my wife is a Swift, kind of. and she told me about it. And she's like, "Hey, if you want to have a video, maybe go viral, Taylor Swift is having a song come out, Opalite." I'm like, "Say less." Yes, John, that calcite was $1,100. If you look up Dragon Scale calcites, they are stupid expensive, and I'm not buying anymore because they're stupid expensive. We are going to do 600 grit now. My friend was down in Tucson earlier in the year, and he was saying that there was a vendor selling the Dragon Scale calcites. It was like a lot of like 20 some odd calcites for like $20 some odd thousand. They are stupid expensive. Well, hi there, Maddie. Yeah, I wish I could go lower price on that one. I think probably the lowest I can even possibly do would be 1,000. Like they're expensive. Oh yes, thank you, Patrick. Yeah, live sales are returning this weekend here on YouTube. I do not. So on the weekends, I do not go live vertically. I go live in the horizontal format. In the future, I may experiment with going live vertically during the work week, Monday through Friday, not Monday through Friday every single day, but sometime during the work week we'll try to do a vertical live sale. Typically I don't, because a lot of the people in our community do not like vertical lives for live sales, and I do not blame them. But we will still try it out anyways, because we've been having a lot of people join us for the vertical live, so we'll give it a whirl, see what happens. It really is, Miguel. Like I can. It's been a while since I've been able to really work on stuff like this. The last few days here, like with this going live, was the first time really in probably a couple months I've been able to really sit down and like even work on the machines, because the shop has been in complete and utter, I don't want to say disrepair, but it's been very cluttered, and it's still technically cluttered right now. But I can't sit and wait for things to get themselves sorted out. So here I am. I got my space cleaned up just enough to go do these live. And I think that actually that's what's happening. 1 second. The machine's actually shaping the table next to it. There we go, that's better. So yeah, summer, I just actually got an email from the planning department for the shed, and they got feedback from the city. The city needs like more information about the drains for the like where the drains end up, and if they connect to the city street or not, and then something else regarding I think it's hopefully soon. So hopefully by the end of this week I should have a more clear like due date on scheduling, because we're literally waiting on a couple more things for the permit, for them asking questions. Because I am eager to get that done. I'm gonna get a couple quotes to have someone else do the flooring, because I'm having it with my hands. Yeah, no joke, Janet. So Ethan, that's actually a really good question. I'm glad you asked that. So there is a chance with this stage that there could be contaminant on the wheel that could cause more scratches. But here's the thing. when you're going from 140 grit, 280, 600, 1200, so on and so forth, technically you are adding more scratches to the stone, but you're adding scratches that are so small and so compact next to each other, you can't really see it. Like if you were to take this to a microscope, like once it's been polished, all polishing is adding a bunch of scratches to it at a finer and finer, microscopic level, basically. Like if you have a stone and like any kind of jewelry that you have right now that's been faceted, it's the same concept. Each one of those facets have gone through a series of grit stages to polish them, and they've been polished so well that you just can't see the scratches. Oh, hi there, James. Yep, working on more Firebeard. Oh, James, I was supposed to respond to your email, but you had messaged me about a cab you had. I think the cab that you sent me a picture of, I think it's the Udiolite cabs. I think. Well, thank you, Miguel, for subscribing. I try to put as much information out there as possible. Like, I do not gatekeep information. Like, if someone wants to learn something, I most likely have a video on, like, the polishing parts thing. My information is free. So thank you for subscribing and hanging out with us. Nope, Ethan, it's part of the process. So the last stage was 280 grit, this stage is 600, and so, like I mentioned before, we are putting scratches into the stone. It's just each stage is a finer and finer grit stage. It's a process. Udiolite here. Let me find it here for you, James. I'm pretty sure, going based off memory, I'm pretty sure I know what CAD you showed me. So give me 1 second here. Patrick. Alright, so I'm going to come over here. Assuming that I have it in the trays. For anyone's watching, these are all cabs. I did not do these cabs. I have a friend that supplies for my live sales. I have cabs for days. If you want to buy cabs, join our live sales. There's no sign-up fee. There's no deposits. A, B, C, D, E. E is not here. Oh, gosh. It might be in the other tray. Yep, it might be in the other tray. Because it starts with an E. These are also all cabs, by the way. I got cabs coming out of my ears. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. Somebody help me. I know I have those cabs. I have plenty of them still. They should be in one of these trays. So yeah, James, it's like I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Udiolite. I'm mostly sure of it. Oh no, sorry. It'd be EU. It should be EU. Unless I spelled it wrong. No, it's not Uvoverite. Oh man, got too many cabs. Yeah, James, I'll figure out what it is. Because it should be right here. And it's not. You have to find it. I'll find it later. I'll probably find it almost immediately after I end the live later. But Jared from Currently Raw Counting, that's another YouTube channel if you have not heard of him. He actually did a video a while back on like what's really happening when you're grinding a stone. I forgot the exact video, but he talked about, and he actually used a microscope to kind of show you up close of what's really happening between each stage. You're welcome, James. So, Ethan, so cabs. Cabs are meant for like jewelry or wire wrappers. I don't have a good example in here of anything that's in jewelry. No, I should. Hold on. So cabs. Cabs are for makers or even collectors. You don't have to be an artist to make them. Oh, that's over here. I need this one here. Oh yeah, my necklace. Yeah, I could show my necklace too. So like cabs. So you can make them into pendants like this here. I'll zoom in really quick. So you can make them into pendants like this with cabs. You got people that can wire wrap them. I'm not one of those people. I'm not good at wire wrapping. I'll say that right now. Like over here, it should still be in here. It's over here. I'm knocking everything over. It'd be great. Or like my necklace here. Like that's a fire obsidian cab that I put in this sterling silver. So you can do a lot of different stuff with cabs. Like this cab right here. This will also be made into a pendant here at some point in the future. I already have the silver for it. And yeah. Another pizza roll. There you go. I may not buy a black opal again for a while. Just doesn't do well. At least not for me. Sounds like my wife is back from what? Taking River to the movies for the first time. It was River's first time at the movie theaters. Okay. Any more questions? What's the router for to cut it? What do you mean, Ethan? Router. Because I have different machines here. I have here. I'll zoom out so you can see. I got two cabbing machines. That one's called a Genie. That one's a name brand. I rarely really use that one except for like very specific projects because the wheels are a bit more worn on that one. I typically save that one for like opals or maybe some smaller, finer obsidian projects. Got a flat lap right here. I got all the different laps actually up in that cupboard right there. So those are the laps for that flat lap right there. That's Diamond Pacific. And then I got a drill press. I don't use it that often. Rarely at this point. And then Chris got a Dremel on steroids, basically. Motor's up there. Hand pieces down here. That's used for, carving and doing other intricate stuff. And I have other grinders down there. Different machines for different needs. Alright. And zoom. And we're going to keep on working. Stay focused. Well, Rocky Mountain Bear, I have not. But also Rocky Mountain Bear, I'm going to send you a message later because Josh had a few pieces of quartz with Rebecca in it. It's like a blue hue quartz, and he has 3 pieces on the table. I thought of you when I saw them, and so I'll just send you a message later, so let me forget. Well, hi there, Pumpkin Jeff. Hi there, Demon YT. So, Demon YT, I polish rocks. I sell rocks. I do everything that is rock related. Not music. Actual rock. The router. Near the back. Yeah, Rocky Mountain Bear. Like, I wouldn't mind getting some like high grade opal if the price is right. Because I think I said like what $500 on that parcel of opals, and I don't even think I'm gonna break even. Like, if I sell that piece I just showed, I'm not breaking even, like at all. Demon. No. So I'm based out of Oregon, but I'm not taking on any more custom projects right now because I have a lot of my own projects that have gone neglected for a long time. But also, I don't think these machines can polish diamond. You basically like you need special machines for polishing diamond. I'm pretty sure of it anyway. I do have an 8-pound chunk of fire obsidian that I need to get polished too. And if I get both sides of that polished up, that is going to be one very expensive stone. It's not dumortierite. Here, I'll grab one of them. I'll show you here in a second. Is Josh's Rebeccaite in quartz from Brazil. There's something got like a blue tinge to it. It's kind of neat. I'll go ahead and flip it over and get the other side here. I'm just gonna check our work. Turn this off. Rocky Mountain Bear. I'll show you one of the pieces that's here on the table. And this one looks like it's been polished. So give me 1 second here. Oops. I remember how much that was. There we go. So yeah, Rocky Mountain Bear. There he had like 3 pieces, and like this is one of them. So yeah, it's got like a little bit of blue hue. This one has been polished. I think the other ones might have been polished too. Oop, almost dropped it. We'll have a good dinner, Derek. Hi there, Agent Anderson. Yeah, we need to get this piece polished up because dinner is actually waiting for me too. All right, so far we're looking okay. Yeah, Rocky Mountain Bear. I'll send you a message all with a video of all 3 of them. All right. I do see a small problem on the stone, which is not good. Okay, so there's one thing I see that I don't like, which means I'll have to go back and do it, which I'll redo it later. So for now, I'm going to skip this side. We're going to flip it over. We're going to check the other side here. That side doesn't look too bad. Who won the members giveaway? It was Tuttle and Megmac that won the giveaway for September. Yeah, this piece looks good. All right, so if I can show you what I'm seeing here, and the reason why I'll have to go back is pretty much, I have to go back several steps. So what I see Well, maybe it's not so bad. I might be able to get by with it. In this section right here, there is a little bit of like, it's from the diamond grinding stage, but there's like a dot here, there's a dot there, but it's underneath the surface, so I'd have to go back to 140 grit to really sand that out to get those out. You still haven't done your fossil bucket? How long have you had that now? What kind of tool would you use to cut down a piece of stone to the right size before you polish it? Or what would you call it? Ethan, do you mean just like a stone in general, like a stone like this, or like a stone that goes into a ring? Really, we're gonna use a different light here. Sometimes if you use a different light, you can kind of see different things. It might actually be okay. I will say that I have a Lego set on the way. I bought 3 Lego sets. I got 2 for myself, 1 to put together, 1 to keep boxed up, and then I bought a 3rd Lego set to do a giveaway, and that should be, I think, November's giveaway if it gets here in time. Yeah, we should be okay. I'm not gonna worry about this right now. Worst case, I can always go back. I can always fix it later, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. But we do have might have. We might be okay. Yeah, we might be okay. Okay. So yeah, Ethan, it all depends on like what you're wanting to do. If you want to do like a small stone, I mean, no matter what, you need a saw. So if you want to cut down a stone, what you need there's a variety of different diamond trim saws. This one's from High Tech Diamond. That's a 10-inch trim saw. And there's other saws you can get. Like I have a saw behind the shelf over there. You can get smaller ones. But the biggest step is if you're wanting to cut things down, you need a diamond saw. And these ones are pretty safe to use because they're a continuous diamond blade. You need that first. And then from there, then you use like these various machines to grind them, shape them, and that's what the diamond wheels are for. These are for shaping. Right there. These are for shaping. And I would recommend, like over here. Come over here. I don't have a whole lot of wiggle room between my shelves right now. I have to walk sideways right now. So like this. This one's 80 grit. This one is 180. And then so yeah, saw, diamond wheels for shaping. And then after that, then you use the either expando wheel with different grits. So we have 100 grit, 400, but those ones come with different grits. You can buy them as belts, and you get them as high as I think 1,000. But I don't often use 1,000 grit for those ones. But if you're trying to facet a stone, you need a fasting machine, which is in there in that big old jumbled box of mess. Fasting machine has different flats you can, or wow, I can't talk. It has like flat, like this, basically, but more precise. And you just go through the different stages. There we go. All right. This step, I try to look for any issues at all. Because once I go to 1200, then we go to polish. I don't want to go back a step if I don't have to. But I think we should be okay. We'll know for sure after the 1200. So looked at. Oh, walk this someplace. What is one of the best colors that appeals to the most? You know, John, that's actually a really good question, and I don't think there is a right answer for that, because it all depends on what someone's favorite color is. It also depends on what colors are trending right now. I think I heard someone said that tan is trending, or some kind of sand color. Don't know how accurate that. Oh no, sorry, it was peach. Someone said peach is trending right now. It really depends on everything. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and try 1200 and see what happens. Find a sweet spot with the camera. There we go. Gotta work on this too at some point. My neighbor wants me to do something with this, so I gotta figure out what shape to do that to make him a stone for his wife. Try and get caught up in projects. It's hard, you know. I also have a huge sunstone of his I need to get done as well. My very first video to hit 1 million views was me working on a sunstone, Oregon sunstone. Of all videos to go viral, that was that one. That was weird. Or viral. Just take your time. We're not rushing it. Why is it whenever I go live, I make a mess with my desk? What I need to do is like leave examples of like the diamond grips and nova points like in plain view, so I can just grab it really quick. Not make a mess with my desk. In theory, we should already be seeing a little bit of progress in the stone. Get a couple more passes here. Yeah, we're already making progress. We're getting there. I'm going to ignore that. Hopefully it goes away. As one of the downsides with obsidian is you will see issues as you progress with the grit stages. If this was an agate, we would have been done like an hour ago. Actually, I got a really cool agate here on the shelf to work at some point here soon. Check it out. Look at the water banding on that one. Thought it'd be cool to just do like a face polish on that one. It's all good. I was once told by someone that I spend too much time with the small details. And to which I say, what's your point? It is nice though. Like there's been times where I work on like several obsidian projects, and then I take a break and I polish an agate, and I'm like, man, this thing works so quick. Kind of nice thing to say sometimes. Right, Rocky Mountain Bear. I could say the same thing for like literally anything. Like, oh hey, you wanna play a game? Oh, it's a shame that you have to download the update and then download the game first, and then you have to play it. Or like the ones that really get me is like where you have to have like internet to play the video game. I'm like, really? Whatever happened to the plug and play? Let's see here, quartz that was tinted green or red or fully green or fully red. I do have some quartz. Actually, no, I do actually have some quartz that is called Valentine's quartz. It's from Africa. It has almost like a minty, I don't want to say minty green, but it's got like a green tint to it. And then I also have some hematoid quartz, which has red. Oh, hey there, Rocks and Things. Rocks and Things. I already have carpal tunnel, and so I went on my trip, my big trip, and both my hands for like these fingers in here, I was having issues with. This one's doing better. This one I'm having a heck of a time with. Like my fingers are still numb, and I have other pains like in my arm in relation to it. It kind of sucks. It'll take a few weeks for it to get back to normal. It happened last year too. From all the digging, which is weird because like I'm right-handed. You would think that my right hand would have the most issues from like using the hammer the entire time, but no. My left arm, my left wrist is doing worse than my right. And then this was the hand that held the chisel as I was splitting all the rocks. You know, I haven't taken anything in a few days as far as like ibuprofen or anything. I do have a cream that I'm going to try. My friend found in his late stepfather's place when they're cleaning everything out. The cream starts with a V. It's for like, it's supposed to be for arthritis, but I'm going to try it out and see if it works. It's looking good so far. I do want to focus a little bit right here. Get that sanded down. And I might focus a little bit more on this edge as well. So yeah, oh, I see a scratch. I see a few scratches right there. You can see it right there on the camera. See those little things right there? Those scratches. Those actually aren't too bad. That will actually come out if I were to maybe focus a little bit more on. So if you look at my wheel right now. Rocks and Things. Actually, no, I'm polishing both sides and then I'm just gonna sell it. I don't know the price on it yet. I'd have to wait and kind of figure out a fair price for it. It's like just a little palm stone, I guess. Some fire obsidian. Someone could actually take this if they had a steady enough hand. Someone could actually cut this right. Where did my pencil go? I'm always losing that thing. Where the heck did it go? It's right here. There we go. You know, John, I think because I sell a lot of rocks and stuff, it'd be cool to be able to utilize 3D printers for like making like various stands and stuff, but I just don't have the space to even bother toying around with them. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind like learning how to use a 3D printer. So, with this piece, we have the fire layer here, and this comes around, and I'm using the camera here to kind of trace that. So, yeah, if someone had a really good steady hand, someone could actually cut it right here with a thin enough saw blade, and they can actually have two pieces. and from there they can do whatever they want with it. So they can either turn this into like a piece of jewelry with this side, or they can get this side cut out and then get rid of all this, because like these layers right here, they're nothing. There's no point in keeping all this. Like if someone wanted to buy this, cut this in half, they would cut it in half, and then they would just trim off all this material right here and get rid of all that. They don't need all that, and they can just use this for a cab right there. So, Rocks and Things is really funny is I actually have 2 braces. Last year when I did my trip last time, when I had the same issue, I stopped by a store and got 2 braces. They're so expensive. But I got 2 braces. I do have them. It's just I have a hard time wearing them, and I need to wear them. Sorry, I gotta scroll here to see if I'm missing your comments. Yeah, I did bring them with me though on my trip, and I did. Oh, sorry, I had a point to have this turned off. Sorry, I had a point and got sidetracked quite a bit. So with this wheel, you should see it. You see how this part is a bit more smooth than the edges. Technically, when you're working with these wheels, you're supposed to try to use the wheel as evenly as possible. Now, I try that. I do try my best. Sometimes it still happens. The center is typically the first thing to wear out, where you have a lot of still, where the edge is still, I guess, more gritty than the center of the stone, or sorry, center of the wheel. And so when I have scratches, so like down here, I gotta work on the edge down here. I will use the edge of either side of this wheel to really focus down here where the scratch is at, and it won't take very long to get that out. Yeah, Rocks and Things, I was told that like you have carpal tunnel, it helps to like do like a praying motion and then like press, so that kind of helps stretch it. And I try to do that as often as I can, like remember. But again, it's the remembering part. Gotta find that spot again. I'm pretty sure it's down here on the side. Yeah, it's that side. Alright. Make sure we have enough water. That's very important. I was going to focus on the very edge of the wheel. Those scratches weren't too deep, so it shouldn't take too long. In fact, I think just this amount of work in it should have gotten those scratches out. Get them in the pass here. And we need to blend it all in. And boom, scratch is out. Just gonna double check here. That's one of the reasons why I'm not really doing lapidary all the time, because it is kind of a pain on my hands. And we're gonna do a little bit up here towards the top too. Oh, nice, John. That's cool. Thank you, Summer, and thank you, Rock and Things. Yeah, after this step would actually be polished. I've been told that I should really use like higher grit stages, and I don't, because I don't need to. I've been doing this long enough, I know what I'm doing. So that side's done. Let's work on this side now. Rock Things, good question. So, I'll go back a little further. So I've always been into rocks ever since I was a kid. picking rocks out of people's driveways. So what my mom has told me. And then in 3rd grade, I was trying to sell rocks to other kids out of a tackle box. Teachers didn't like that. And then 2012, I took the first lapidary class. I had asked someone to polish this piece right here. Bring it up really quick. I asked someone to try to polish this. They couldn't do it. This is still a result of them trying. And at some point, I will go back through and I will polish it. I will make it look like it's like really, what I'm, I guess, well known for. I think at this point. So this right here is the piece that started my lapidary journey, because I figured if I can polish obsidian, I can polish anything else. So I bought this. I paid them $20 to polish it. They tried 4 or 5 times. They couldn't do it. And yeah, I started doing this back in 2012. I was volunteering at a local rock shop, and eventually I was teaching classes to other people. And I went my own ways. I think it was like 2017. And over the course of that time, I have been slowly buying equipment and stockpiling equipment. Well, I guess buying and selling equipment. I'd buy rocket states. And if a piece of equipment is something I didn't want, I would just sell it. And then, of course, just a few years ago, I started doing the rock and crystal cells here on YouTube. So, yeah, it's been kind of a long time building what you see today. This takes time, takes patience. And I still have done lapidary classes every so often. I don't openly advertise for it right now, but in the future, I will be openly advertising for classes, because it is nice to be able to teach people in person. Let's see here. Do you have to go in certain directions, and can't you go in a different direction, or is it going during the obsidian? So, yeah. So, Ethan, you always want to work typically... Oh, look at that. Sorry, I just got distracted. You always want to work in the same direction. Otherwise, you'll cause what's called like a hash pattern. So if we just take our pencil here, so if I were to work in this direction, and then we switch gears, we go in this direction here. This pencil's not going to hurt the stone. And we try to go to polish after like going in different directions like all the time. It's going to be a really, really bad polish. And the only way to fix that would be go back to the wheels and work in the same direction. You can either work with a stone like this. You can also work with the stone in circular patterns. It's not going to hurt the finish of the stone, because what you really need to focus on is constantly moving the stone, so you can have a nice even sand on the stone. If you're trying to make facets, then yeah, you can pause, hold the stone there, make a facet, and just do it all over the stone. But you got to keep in mind that if you're making facets, then you have to polish each an individual facet, and it just takes a bunch of time. If you want to do it, more power to you. I just don't like doing it. So yeah, you always want to work in the same direction at all times. So yeah, a little over 10 years. Let's see here, 2012. We're in 2025 now. So what, 13 years? 12, 13 years? So my next live sale will be this next weekend. What day is that? I don't know. I don't have a calendar in front of me. It'll be this Saturday and Sunday, starting 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then Amy will be live Saturday evening. And she goes live about 8-ish p.m. for a couple hours. And then, yeah. Because, yeah, I haven't done a live sale in a couple weeks. Oh, yeah. So, I'll tell that story again. Summer. So, I have a friend who supplies most of the live sales. I have some of my own stuff too, but he supplies. I'd probably argue about like 90% of the stuff that we have is from him. Initially, more than a few years ago, he had reached out, like, hey, do you want to sell rocks for me? I'm like, I don't have the time for it. Sorry, not right now. And I'm like, and he's like, oh, okay. And then I forgot when it was. I forgot what year it was. So this year is my 2 years doing this full time in February. So we're about to see what we're actually almost at 3 years. Let me think about it for a second. We've been doing this for over 3 years, I think, at this point, technically. Yeah, I was let go from my full-time job, and rather than look for a new job, I'm like, you know what? I've been seeing okay numbers with these live sales. I'm just gonna go ahead and risk it and not look for a job and just focus on selling rocks. And so February this year would be 2 years doing this full time, not as a side gig. And yeah, basically they let me go because I refused to work when it was icy outside because we were having a small ice storm. And I told them that if I could afford to quit on the spot, I would, because what they were trying to do was not okay. Like, they were really trying to get me to come into work, and it was not safe out there. And they didn't like my answer, so they fired me that week. See, how would you know to go in the right direction? Ethan, that's a good question. So pretty much once you get done with the grinding stages, what I like to do, it all depends like how the stone is shaped. Like, I kind of like how it kind of dipped down like this, so I figured that'd be a good direction. And so once you start with a direction, you just stick to it. Yeah, it's been a really cool journey so far to kind of see where things have gone. I do like selling rocks, but what I enjoy doing more is actually like this kind of content where I'm doing like how-to videos and showing people how rocks are polished. The only thing is, it does not pay the bills. Well, it pays a couple bills, but it doesn't pay all the bills. Like, if I was able to make a good living off of the ad revenue through YouTube, I would do mostly this and do like maybe like a couple sales a month. I do have more joy in this. I like to teach. I like to work with my hands. It shakes it up a bit too. Something different. Well, howdy UMG, and howdy JSCJ. I hope I said that right. Alright, we're going to check our work. You know what I'd love to do? I would actually love to make a foot-pedaled calving machine. Okay, what do we got? So I do have to focus a little bit up here, right there. We gotta get that sanded down a little bit. Otherwise, it's not looking too bad. Not too shabby. Yeah, if anyone wants to, put content on YouTube, I would highly recommend to not quit your day job because YouTube ad revenue does not pay very much. So we're going to focus right here on the edge of the wheel. Find that spot again. Gonna roll it, keep it moving. Yeah, Rocky Mountain Bear. I saw. Gosh, I was watching something. I forgot what it was, but it was a foot-pedaled machine. Had a couple giant pulleys on there, like an old sewing machine, but like different. If that makes any sense. But I thought it'd be really cool to make one that is powering just a shaft with some no wheels on there, and have the entire thing be foot pedals. I saw the video. I'm like, oh, okay, that'd be cool to make. Oh, Summer, I got some powerful legs. I'd actually argue to say my legs are actually much stronger than my arms. That should be okay. No, it's not good enough. So, we're just gonna scoop just for a second. We're gonna use both wheels here. See how giant oval wheels. So what we're gonna do is here, we're going to just utilize the edge of the wheel on this one really quick, kind of smooth it out. That's done. Howdy there, John. The only thing Rocky Mountain Bear is, I wonder if, like, how efficient the Nova wheels would be at a lower RPM if it was just leg powered. That's where, like, my curiosity kind of lies. Like, would they be effective? That's a little better. We're actually almost ready for polish. We should be anyway. Hi there, booty. You can never really spend too much time with 1200 grit, because this stage is really, at least for like my process, this is the last step before polish, and I just want to be really sure that I got everything before I go to polish. Because what's going to happen is if I find an issue, guess what? I got to go back to 600 to remove the polish, to remove that stage, and start over. Because if I get this fully polished and I find an issue and I go to 1200, the 1200 is gonna roll right off this. It's not even really gonna like do much of anything, or it'll take too long. So I either need to go back to 600. Yeah, usually 600 usually does it. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. We're going to check our work here again in just a second. It's very important to constantly, I'm not going to worry about polishing that right now. It's very important to constantly check your work as you're working. Not just in between the stages, but as you're working. My right arm's hurting a little bit. Yeah, that side's done. And that side's ready. So we are ready for polish. I will not do it on this live, but what I'll do after the live ends is not tonight, probably tomorrow at some point. I'll come back through here and I will actually polish this edge too and this edge. But tonight we are only worried about that side and this side. So we're going to go ahead and unplug the phone and keep the wire away from the wet surfaces so we don't short our breaker. That would suck. We're going to zoom out just a little bit here. Right about. Oh, that's about as good as we're going to get. So this is our carpet wheel. It's a Berber carpet. We use a cerium oxide made by Gordon Glass Company. And I'm bumping into stuff back here because I am out of room right now. It's temporary though. There's a shed coming eventually. So what's going to happen is I'm going to wet this wheel. And then I am going to make sure that this, I mean, we were live yesterday, so this should be fairly soupy. With the cerium oxide, I like to have like a consistency of like a frosty, but it tends to settle. See, it settles like oobleck a little bit, and it settles pretty quick. And so I just gotta mix it up just a little bit here. Just a little bit. There's really not a whole lot made. Just hit to buy some more though. It's like $25 for a pound of this stuff right now. Remember when it was like 20. Inflation. That's our station. All right. All right. Turn this on. Oh, I was supposed to do that today. I was supposed to make a new one of these. It's bent from being outside. So Matthew, it's Berber carpet or Berber style carpet. I've been using this wheel for, oh God, I don't know, since 2016, 2017, something like that, give or take. And I have not replaced the carpet yet because I'm not doing something every single day. Not yet, anyway. But this one piece of carpet has lasted me quite a while. I do have backup piece of carpet somewhere from the same stuff, and if I lost that, I do have other backup material as well. Oops, it hurt a little bit. So we get a little water on there, and then we just take our toothbrush and cerium oxide. I've been using the cerium oxide since I started doing lapidary back in 2012. I did start out with learning how to polish on a leather wheel. I do not like leather wheels for polish because what happens is when the stone dries as you're polishing, which it will, if you're not paying attention, it does not matter how strong you think you are. If that leather wheel dries out, it will grab that rock and it will throw it. You can be the world's strongest man and it will yank it out of your hands. I've seen it happen, I've had it happen. Carpet though, carpet's wonderful. Much more forgiving. Because you don't want the stone to dry out when you're on the polishing wheel. You want to keep it damp. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to dry the stone really quick so we have a nice before and after when I go back to watch the video. Trying to dry it before we got started. So that's going to be our before, and I'll show you how quick this can be. So that's one side versus wet. It's kind of hard to do that work on 2 different sides here. So that's going to be our before. And let's watch this 1 second here. So, see how dull it looks. Polishing there. Just hold it for a few seconds. Polishing most rocks is pretty easy. Polishing obsidian, it's a pain in the butt. It requires more finesse, more care, more eye for detail, but it takes a beautiful polish. So, just that few seconds, you can see that we're already getting a shine on there. And you can see on the edges where it's all like hazy. We will eventually get that all worked out. Matter of spending some time on the wheel. You can never spend too much time on the polishing wheel either. And it is also important that to note that I am actually adding a fair amount of weight, pressure against the wheel. Not enough to stop the wheel, but just enough to allow the polish to really get in there and do its job. And this polishing machine, like anyone can make one of these at home. They're pretty easy. If you don't have the necessary space for one of these machines, I can show you an alternative, where I can actually share a link. A while back, if anyone has an access to a wet, dry angle grinder, you can make these polishing pads at home with just some Velcro and like a square of the Berber carpet. So yeah, Velcro, Berber carpet, and cut it to shape. Boom, Bob's your uncle. You have a little handheld polishing pad for an angle grinder. Because I have an angle grinder too, I typically use that for large projects that I can't really get to fit on any of my wheels, especially for the polishing. I did a video a while back polishing a large, was it 15 pound, or was it heavier than that? It was a giant limb cast, and then also a large Moroccan agate pear. And I had to use my angle grinder to get those polished because they are really, really big pieces. And I should have really covered my garage floor with the tarp because it was messy. So just that little time that we've spent I mean, it's gonna be dirty for now, but we're getting there. And occasionally, what I like to do is I like to add a little bit more cerium oxide. You can't ever have too much on there. You can have too much water. So even though this machine, here, actually, we're gonna show an example really quick. So what you don't want, we'll actually use the edge for this example here. What you don't want is the machine or the wheel drying out. Of course, now it's not going to do it. There it is, it's starting to go. What you don't want, and now it's embarrassing me. Don't embarrass me in front of my friends. So what you don't want the wheel to dry out. I mean, it's not leather, like I said, it's not going to grab the stone. You still don't want it to dry out because it's not going to get a very efficient polish on there if you let it dry out. And I'm trying to get an example here and it's not doing it, which is actually a good thing, which means my wheel's nice and damp. Come on, give me an example. This side's going to be really good, nice and polished. But what I'll do is, when it dries out, you'll know. Because what you should be doing anyways, you should be taking the stone off the wheel and checking it anyways. But if you ever see like a dry patch or a shiny patch, like let's say like right up here, that means your wheel needs more water. And there's a couple spritzes of a spray bottle, fix the issue. Barbara, hi Barbara. Hello XYZ 777. We're going to focus on the edges of the stone here. But yeah, so yeah, with the carpet wheel, it won't grab the stone if it dries out, which, you know, that's a good thing. You still have to be careful, watch your edges. So what I'm doing is, that's my edge of the stone. I come down and I don't allow the wheel to catch the edge, because it can still grab it, it can still throw it if it catches the edge. But so long as you're kind of very conscious about where your edge is at, like I'm focusing down here, and if I want to polish where my thumb's at, I just flip it around and I just focus on the edge there. Oh, hi there, Marty. Yeah, the double tap the screen. Leave a like, please. Now we can do more stuff like polishing. That's a nice stone. Yeah, 100 likes. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, so I don't know if anyone heard. Lego made a crystal and gem Lego set. It's being released this month. I saw a few creators got early access to it, but they are releasing it this month. My order just got shipped today, actually, and so that should be showing up at my door, hopefully in a few days. And okay, we do an example now. Okay, so the wheel's starting to dry out. I can feel it wanting to stick. And you see how it dried out like that? You do not want that. You do not want that at all. So we just take our spray bottle, a few more sprays. At this time, you can add a little more cerium oxide. Again, it's not going to hurt it. And there. It's damp again. Do not want the stone to dry out if you want a good polish. And as I said before, you cannot spend too much time on this machine. If anything, you're just going to have a really polished rock. So let me grab a paper towel. I will say, if you're able to, if your stone has too much cerium oxide on it, try to wipe off as much as you can before you rinse it in your sink, because this stuff will settle into your drains, and you don't want that. You don't want it at all. So if you can, wipe off as much as you can before you go to rinse it. Yeah, so John, I am a collector, I'm a seller, and I'm a little bit of a lapidary artist. All right, so here's one side, that's our before, and here's the other side, that's our after. And let me grab a light here. Over here. There we go. So that is fire obsidian. That top layer there, that really flashy layer, that's the fire. And then that's, of course, that's the other side that we still have to polish up. So by the time we get done, it should look like that. I know a lot of people get frustrated with obsidian. It's not an easy stone to polish. It can be frustrating. It tests your patience. But once you get through it and you can get it polished, it makes you feel awesome. It's a really cool feeling. How there, Vivek? But yeah, John, yeah, I'm very much a collector. It's actually kind of problematic. It's because, since I sell rocks, I tend to also spend too much money on rocks for my own personal collection, and it's very rare that when I buy something for myself that I sell it or get rid of it. Sometimes I do. It's just not often. And Summer's got to go. Well, have a good night, Summer. Summer, I will also do a short video because I did a recording before I sanded like this part of it. He's a picker, a collector, a lapper, and he's a sinner. Plays music in his garage. I read that in my head in the Steve Miller song, The Joker. That's not very musically inclined. Right, Janet? Well, I made a video a long time ago because it was that Lego set was supposed to come out. I wouldn't say it wasn't supposed to come out. The contest for that Lego set happened a few years ago, and the initial one was denied because they had to make a. If they had approved it, they would have had to make a special brick for it, and Lego didn't want to do that. So the guy that made this set, he had to resubmit his idea with a new brick design, so they didn't have to make new bricks. And luckily, he got the support right away because he needed 10,000. He needed 10,000 signers to vote for it, and then from there, it had to go to like be voted on by like people over there at Lego. There's a whole thing, but yeah, it got approved, and this is the year. It's finally happening. I've been waiting forever for this. And I made a video saying that if it did come out, I would do a giveaway. And I'm holding true to that. So I ordered 3. I'm going to build one myself. I'm going to keep one in its box, store it away. And then I'm going, actually I might even see with plastic. And then I'm going to do a giveaway for the 3rd box. Nice Rocky Mountain Bear. I knew it. So yeah, for those that don't know, I love Legos. I grew up on, playing with Legos and playing with rocks, playing with bugs and other critters. I did say that. Yeah, I've been looking forward to that Lego set for so long. Like when I saw it, like someone, it might have been Jared that sent me the link, and I was like, oh, heck yeah. I really hope they do more sets, like not just the one. I hope they do like a series of them, because that'd be really cool. I'd buy every single one of them. And then tell River not to sell it. It's a collector's item. Well, how are they, Mars? And then Mars, I did see your message. I don't know if you saw my reply. I'll see what I can find for you. I might have an extra rough piece laying around here somewhere. Oh, nice. Got a Bandy from Indonesia watching. Howdy. Hopefully your week is going well. Sorry, my hands having issues. My hand was getting a little too numb. This is actually typically my stone, so if I drop it, it's not a big deal, but I don't want to drop it. That's the thing. I'm going to focus some time on the edges a little bit. That's usually where I tend to forget to add sort of focus. So I'm going to add some more oxide. Almost out of water. Alright, sounds good, Mars. Now, I'm pretty sure I have a couple extra chunks I did set aside for myself, but I'll be willing to sell to you. I've been trying to get my friend to release more. So we had two weekends in total where we had Firebeard and rough. It was like $100 a pound for the rough material. And he has more, but he doesn't want to sell it. Like more of what I would consider like the good grade. Because there is different gradients of it. And he's not ready to sell the rest of it yet. I just told him, I was like, well, if you decide to sell, let me know, because we have a lot of people that would like to buy some. So he sold out. I knew he would, so I had set aside a piece for myself. Stuff goes so quick. It's probably done. I just feel like I need to add just a little bit more time on here. In fact, we're gonna just focus right here. Got a lot of cerium still on this part of the wheel. Hands going numb again. It's not really going numb. It's got tingles. It's not necessarily comfortable. All right. Let's see where we're at. Again, there's parts of the stone I'm still going to polish up, just not on the live. Because they're the parts of the stone that don't really matter. I'm going to wipe off some of the cerium oxide. I'm going to rinse it really quick and kind of see if I miss anything. Is that cerium oxide on that rag? All right. And it looks like I think we might be okay as far as those sides being done. I don't see any. Okay, that's the side. Okay, yeah, we're done. So we're gonna come over here. And we are going to this chair. You know, Patrick, I honestly don't know. I kind of went based off a feel. So when my carpet wheel eventually does go out, I did get some other squares of it I would like to test. I kind of went off feel. So I kind of felt the carpet that's there versus the squares I got. And I try to go with like as similar a feel as possible. And I'm going to grab my glasses cleaner here and wipe it off as well. Okay, there is a small spot. Looks like that didn't. Oh, no, we're good. Sorry, I'm getting it cleaned up for y'all. Tomorrow's trash day. Can't forget. Okay. Do Osterters workout? What's that? I don't know what that is. I'm gonna zoom in here. And it's hard to keep sitting clean once it's been polished. You can kind of see there's always some smudges on there. I should really get some more glass cleaner in here. Like, no joke. The glass cleaner actually does pretty well. So there's that side. Again, those are just some smudges up there. Trying to keep it clean. It's hard. So there's one side, and then the other side over here. I gotta record a video on this too when I get done. So I gotta use some glass cleaner on it and then wear gloves on handling it. And then, is that a smudge? That's a smudge right up there. But yeah. So we got both sides polished up. Again, keeping obsidian clean, that's like that's a good polish. It's just oily from like already handling it. But yeah. So we got both sides polished. After sometime like either tonight or tomorrow, probably tomorrow, I'll go back through. I'm going to polish that side. Normally I don't, but I want to have this thing fully polished all the way around. And I'm going to polish this side too. So yeah, just 2 sides. Yep, 2 sides. And look, I already got fingerprints all over the thing. And then I'll have to figure out how much to sell it for. Because when I figure out the price for this, I'm trying to take in consideration like how much of the piece is actually fire versus like how much is not fire. But yeah, I'll figure out a price for this. It'll be for sale. It's a pretty neat piece. I'll have this side polished too. Or I can keep it, either way. Sometimes stones sell and sometimes they don't. If it doesn't sell, then I won't be upset. Well, hi there, Michael. That was fire obsidian. So yeah, this is fire obsidian. The fire part is that layer that shows that color right there. Let's see, that better not be a scratch. Josh. Yeah, we just polished both sides here in the live. But yeah, I have other obsidian that I polished in the past, like all that up there. I even made the YouTube play button right there. And then I got another piece over here that I need to work as well. Did I buy this one? Or was this a form of payment? So you have another piece right here that I need to work as well. And I'll show you, because the layer is right there. Do I have orange calcite? Are you talking about orange calcite points or like orange calcite rough? Because on my shelf I haven't priced these yet, but I do have a couple. Those ones are probably be more expensive because they came with a lot with the what's it called? Cobalt and calcite. So if we grab a spray bottle really quick. The piece that's in front of us is another chunk of fire. So we're going to turn off all these lights right here. This is another chunk of fire obsidian. And we just do this really quick. Well, thank you for subscribing, Gonzo. And thank you for the compliment, Mars. So there's a layer right here. That's a fire layer. And I think this piece was a form of payment that I accepted for sorting the obsidian. Because my friend, he wanted to have all of his obsidian sorted. And I took 2 pieces as a form of payment. But at least I think this is one of them. Was it one of them? Hold on. Yes, it was. Okay. So it's hard to see. I mean, there's a layer right there, right on top. But there's another layer right here that I am more focused on. You see a little hint shimmer right there? That little shimmer? That is, there should be a pretty good layer. And it goes over the whole thing. Actually, I'm kind of curious to see what it looks like. So let's do this. Before we end the live, how about we do, I like to call it an exploratory test, or exploratory sand, to remove this layer so I can get a better look at that layer that I'm seeing. And it looks like it goes all the way to that little line right there. That's the same layer. It should be the same layer. And it goes all the way around it. So let's do a quick sand on it and see what it looks like. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna all the way over here. And we're going to use the 140 grit. This is a soft wheel for right now. Should only take a second. Get this out of the way. And we're going to take a peek and see what that looks like. Actually, we might use the diamond wheel really quick. So brace your ears. We're going to use the diamond wheel just really quick. Zoom out so y'all can see what I'm doing. Brace your ears. The diamond wheel is louder than the rest. It's not so bad. I thought it was going to be louder than that. That layer dips down. Yep, and then I believe Jared currently rock. Holy crap! Sorry. So it's an issue, but it's not an issue. There's a small pocket, small layer right here. We'll turn off this light. We're going to shift this light over here. And so we do have a small layer right on top. It's got beautiful color on there, but the layer is not very big. So this is kind of where the tough call comes into place, because if you have a large piece, if this layer is better than this layer, what has to happen, since there's not really enough room to really cut that out, I would have to sadly grind through this layer to get to this layer down here. But look at the color though. Because there's not really a lot of wiggle room to really get a saw in there to cut that piece out, sadly. Oh, the color is beautiful though. That's the downside. That's the biggest downside. Like, you can find a really cool color and then be like, oh man. But yeah, Jared, he used a special microscope to measure the thickness of the layers, and it was 4 times thinner than the human hair. The layers are super, super, super thin. Oh, there, Giggle Lad. Yeah, Mars. It doesn't take very much to do that, and I've done something similar too, and it just really sucks. I need to get to that layer so I can get a better look at it. This over here, I can't see really well. I can't even use the edge of the stone. I would like to use the edge, but I can't. Oh, maybe I can. Do that a little bit. Not really. Oh, I just saw something. Yeah, that should be a good layer. I saw a hint of something. So we're going to hit this light. Hi there, Kimberly. And we're going to turn off this light. We're going to use our little light here to kind of, 1 second here, off camera. There it is. All right. So, see that shimmer right there? That's the fire layer. Try to get a good angle so you guys can see a little better. There we go. So that's the fire layer. And we should be able to get a better view, hopefully a little bit. Not really. Still too thick to see. If you have too much obsidian above the layer, it's going to be really hard to really look. But that should actually be a good layer, which means we have to grind through the top layer to get to it. And it's not ideal, but it's part of the process. And as far as you got to trace the layer too to kind of see what it's doing. And it is actually in a ideal pattern. So if you look at that layer, that's the layer. That's the fire obsidian layer right there. And it's going. It's fairly straight for the most part. It does dip down a little bit here. That's okay. That's what I want. If it was bending in the opposite direction, then I would do it. I would actually then cut from this end down to it. But since it's actually doming this way, like goes from down up this way, that is ideal. So that's actually that's going to be a really nice big piece. The only downside with big pieces is the bigger they are, the more expensive they end up being. Because again, this is by gram once it's been polished. And not everyone can afford large pieces. So chances are I might have to cut this one down into smaller pieces in order to sell it, which I don't like having to do, but I feel like a piece this size, if the fire layer goes all the way to the other side, you know, probably a few $1,000s minimum, depending on how big it is and how it turns out, or it might just be easier to cut it down. Big rocks don't always sell. Sometimes you gotta cut them down, unfortunately. I have an 8-pound piece, but that I don't think I want to sell that one. Well, I froze. Am I moving? Okay, I'm back. Ah. I'm trying to get the chat back up on my tablet so I can see the chat. And that. Okay. Well, it is time for dinner. It is 7:11 p.m. my time. No, sorry, that clock's wrong. 7:18. It is time for food. I also want to say goodnight to my daughter because she's going to be going to bed here anytime now. And yeah. I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow. Maybe we will. If I do, I hope to find something else to do. And kind of go from there. Gotta clean my mess out again. It really is Rocky Mountain Bear to... What's the finished rock look like? Here, I'll show you a couple of finished pieces before we go. I knew what you meant there, Mars. Yeah, Rocky Mountain Bear is an awful feeling to have to go through a good layer. Here's an example of a piece right here. So, I mean, we just polished this one on live right here. So we polished this one live, both sides. It's already covered in fingerprints. But that's a piece of fire. I have this one in my hand right here. This one actually I think needs to be redone and recut. This is also a piece of fire too. Yeah, this one needs to be recut. I don't like it. I don't like it. As far as the finish of it. Let me find a better one to show. Here's another good one too. This one actually is a better example because it's an optimal finish on it. That's also fire obsidian right here. See all the different layers in there. This one's not for sale. This one actually came out of a estate sale. I forgot how many pounds I bought, but every piece had fire in it, and this was one of them. And I polished this one, and I just fell in love with it. I love this one so much. I'll zoom in a little bit more. But look at that. It's just so beautiful. Like, every layer is different. It's a beautiful material. But yeah. And then I do have a necklace that I usually wear. I didn't wear it today. That's my necklace right there. That kind of gets more into the more top grade material. And then I have another pendant, or I have another cab of it that eventually I'll also make into a necklace. So, got, of course, it's covered my fingerprints, but yeah, it's a pretty rare variety of obsidian. You can get obsidian all over the world, but this stuff is pretty unique to Oregon. You gotta get lucky to find it too, as far as like in estate sales and rock shows. And you can find fire in like a gold lace. Sorry, not gold lace. Gold sheen obsidian. These ones are not. Actually, let me take that back. Eventually, I will get a price on this one. I'll sell this one, and then I have some other ones I will sell, but just not tonight. Like this right here. This is actually considered a gold sheen obsidian. And gold sheen, they call it gold sheen because it has like a shimmer to it. Sometimes you actually can get small layers of the fire and the gold sheen, little magnetite layers, but they're so minute that it's not worth really trying to extract it out because of how close those layers are. It's a lot of work. Because whenever you're working on this stuff, you have to think ahead every step. Oh, hi there, Romania Recount. But yeah, Tom, I do sell them sometimes. I might have some this weekend. Most likely on Sunday. I do have some smaller ones. I'll zoom out really quick. I do have some smaller cabs. I did not polish those ones. I have 1, 2, 3 there I didn't polish. And then I have, I think those ones I didn't polish those ones. Actually, what's this one? Yeah, I didn't polish those ones, but I did polish this one here, and this one, and that one. But yeah, I have some that's a mix of stuff I did polish and stuff I didn't polish, but they're still pretty good. Still a pretty decent shine. Again, I did not polish these ones. That one's 240. That one is 175. Sometimes it can be affordable. Sometimes it can be a little bit more expensive. We have one over here that's 300. It's got my fingerprints all over it. But this one should have gone for more, but again, it is polished. It's just dirty from me touching it so much. But yeah, I do have some for sale. Very carefully set it down. There we go. But yeah, it's dinner time. So thank you all for hanging out with me for 2.5 hours. I'm gonna say goodnight to my daughter, and I'm gonna have some food. So, bye everybody. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you sometime, either maybe tomorrow or Thursday. We'll see what happens. So, bye everybody, and see you later.